to the leg side, but gets the inside half of the bat. He'll get a single to complete the first over. 5 runs from it. Combined 11, having won the toss, electing to bat first in this, the first of the semi-finals. 5 without loss after 1 over.
The key for combine in this game would be if Shri clicks, because the whole innings can't be just put on to one person like it was last night with Tristan scoring the bulk of the runs and the rest of the team just, you know, doing 20s and 30s. So he needs a proper, you know, inning to support him on the other end, so he doesn't have all the pressure. I think that will be the key, especially against a side like the Freedom Fighters.
Carlitos Lopez to open from the media centre end of the ground. You can move it. I'm not actually using it.
Are you using that one?
No, nothing at the moment. I've got a problem with...
Oh, you have a problem there?
Yeah, I'll sort it out soon. So
Whoa.
do whatever you need.
Whoa.
Oh dear, this one has caught Coleman. Short delivery. And it's got him in the side of the head, I think. And they're calling straight away
I hope he's
for some assistance. Unfortunate scenes here.
I hope Tristan's okay. He got caught in that first ball by Lopez right on the side of the head. And he went down right away.
I think they'll have enough. If they need it, they'll pull for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Tristan is back up after that scary scene of the ball from Lopez catching him on the side of the head, and he went down right away. Got some ice to the side of his head, and he seems to be better. So some good signs, Jamie.
Yeah, thankfully he's back up. It's always a scary thing when you see a player take a ball to the head and go down in obvious pain like Coleman did. But he seems to have gathered his thoughts and he's ready to take strike again. And another short one. Signaled no ball. This time Coleman just swaying out of the way of the line of the delivery. Well played.
Yeah, I think he will be a little bit more wary of that short ball too after getting hit on that first ball from Lopez.
Outside edge from a short ball. The free hit will get Coleman just the single down to third man. So Freedom Fighters qualifying top of their group, unbeaten in the 2 matches they played in the round robin. Another short ball through to the keeper. Shree looking to uppercut it but getting nothing on it. So Freedom Fighters didn't have it completely all their own way in their round robin match against the Incredibles, I think it was. No, sorry, not the Incredibles. United 11. They were restricted to a first inning score of 178, I believe, but it was their bowling and their fielding that came up trumps on that occasion.
Yeah, they couldn't go past that 200 mark that like they wanted to in that game.
This time he gets a decent chunk of wood on it, and that has gone all the way for 6. The first maximum of this first semi-final. Liberty Cup semi-final 2017.
What a great shot, considering Lopez was bowling short on his first 3 balls. He just waited on it and played the ball right under or above his eyes.
Well, it's a little bit predictable at this stage. Lopez bowling chest, head height, every single delivery in that over. So it enabled both Coleman and Shree just to give themselves a little bit of room and look to either pull the ball or, as we saw Shree do with that 6, uppercut it over the offside. So despite bowling with some good pace and hostility, it was a little bit predictable. Surprised he didn't chuck in at least 1 full pitch delivery in that over. By the end of 2, 13 for none.
Now it will be interesting how Tristan plays Elmore Hutchinson, because he tends to bowl chest high as well. See if he has some jitters from that 1 ball.
Length ball outside off stump, looking to drive. Doesn't get anywhere near it.
Gary, is this safe? Is this safe doing this?
He's safe for the camera?
Yeah.
Hey, can you text him to get some
Would you
coffee
recommend?
and something to eat too?
I thought even get to the cable first. That's important.
No, on his way here because he's gonna get that too.
It's like the cable.
Probably a couple $1,000. I can't remember.
Alright, let me put like just right there.
Defending this time. So the opening pair for for Freedom Fighters have been very effective throughout the tournament. Elmore Hutchinson and Carlitos Lopez. It's probably been a battle between Freedom Fighters and Kings 11 for the best bowling attack. This time off the back foot, but no run again. 3 dot balls in a row.
Yes, it seems like he's trying to go through that point and cover region because of the length that he's being bowled.
Again short. Again a play and a miss. Another dot. So the
Wide.
pressure building. 4 dots. In fact, it's been called wide. My mistake. So the pressure released somewhat. Run to the total. And an extra delivery will be required. Punching off the back foot, Coleman. But they've got a packed offside field. Mid off. Extra cover. Cover point. Backward point. A slip. And I imagine there's a man down on third man fence, but I can't see him. Being blocked by the sight screen. Actually, he might be at fine leg. Onto the back foot, tapping it into the leg side. No run again. So no runs off the bat in this over so far. A very good one from Elmore Hutchinson. Of course, Hutchinson is a member of the US team currently, and well, he has been for a number of years now. Very experienced campaigner.
Yeah, he seems to be bowling to his field, and he doesn't deviate from that.
Half-hearted appeal, probably pitched outside leg, and height was also an issue. Well, that ends a very good over. No runs off the bat, just the wide conceded. So at the end of 3, 14 without loss. Combined Stars winning the toss and electing to bat.
A little hole on top won't hurt anything, right? Because the other one already has holes in it.
Oh, and yeah, whatever. Do whatever you want to. I'll put a hole in it and we'll let the water drain out.
Every time you hit it, the tripod's moving, so it's going to fall off. So take the tripod off, make the hole, and then put it up.
Edge by Shri goes for a 4 over the keeper's head. Another short ball from Lopez. No surprise there.
I'd suggest taking it off, then making the hole, and then lifting it up. Every time you hit it, the tripod's bouncing.
Lopez seems to be going for a short ball every single delivery, becoming quite predictable. And this time he goes full.
And
I mean, this is
Bias.
elementary
In
cricket.
fact, leg bias.
They should have run. They could have had easily 2. And they just waited to see if it was a 4.
Hoiked around the corner this time by Coleman. Like you said, it's all becoming a little bit too predictable from Lopez. And these two batsmen are just kind of moving either left or right to get themselves inside or outside the line of the delivery, and then either looking to pull or looking to uppercut it backward a point. And they're starting to get used to the pace.
Yeah, now also, I mean, they seem to be just sitting on their back foot and just waiting for it instead of, coming up or being even in, being in a balanced position. They just seem to be leaning back onto their back foot and waiting for that short ball of his. Because, I mean, out of the 9 balls that he's bowled, I think 7 have been short balls.
This time he goes full, but he's overstepped. No ball. So a costly over this one for the Freedom Fighters and for Lopez. 10 runs from it already and only 3 legal deliveries.
Free hit coming for Coleman. He doesn't need any invitation, but he's going to go hard on this one.
And he's gone big. That's into the jungle. So Coleman continuing his 6-hitting prowess from last night. And this will be nervous times for the Freedom Fighters.
Somebody get a new ball because that seems to be lost. There's a current going through like crazy. I'm not sure how you held this thing yesterday.
Oh, really?
I'm getting continuously zapped. It's nuts. The current issues are were ongoing. We're getting zapped again today. But let's forget that. Move on. And what a shot by Tristan.
Exact delivery for Coleman last time in the side of the head, but this time he managed to get his bat in the way. But it's been called no ball.
Another free hit coming for Coleman. Let's see how he deals with this one. I'd imagine in the same manner that he dealt with the last one.
Slower ball. And they'll come through for a single. Well bowled in the end by Lopez. Realised bowling fast wasn't working for him, so he held back. Probably the last thing that Tristan Coleman was expecting at that stage.
Yeah, he was probably expecting another short one or right up in the block hole.
Top edge. And very, very well taken by the man running back from slip. Have to see who that is. They're right down at the far end of the ground, so it's hard to tell. But boy, what a great catch. Had to cover a lot of ground. The ball would have been swirling around. And in the end, took it very well. So the first wicket. And John Campbell was the man who took the catch. So well done to him. And finally, in what was a punishing over, Lopez gets a breakthrough. Last ball of the over. But with 17 or 18 runs coming from it, it's given some real impetus to the combined 11 innings. As we see the new batsman walking out to the crease with number 4 on his back. Vinny Chopra is the new man, and this is the pair that had so much success in partnership yesterday. Chopra will be on strike to the new over from Hutchinson.
18 coming from the last over from Lopez. Quite an expensive over for the Freedom Fighters. A wide by Elmore Hutchinson down the leg side. Played down short square leg for a single by Vineet. Tristan plays a dot down to cover, right to the fielder. Hutchinson again maintaining his line and length, bowling according to his field.
Big shot over the offside this time. Gives himself a little bit of room, and that's run away for 4. So another boundary to Coleman, his second. He moves on to 20 now.
Combine as a whole seem to be dealing in boundaries. There isn't much strike rotation because of the shots that they're playing. They either go to the fielder or go for a boundary. And that goes over from the side of Tristan, and that's a 4. No buys given, so there was some bad on that. Great try by the keeper, trying to get to that catch. Blocks it to short mid wicket for a single. Does Tristan. One ball remaining in this over. And it has already been an expensive one for the Freedom Fighters. Has already gone for 11 runs. 2 boundaries coming in this over.
This is good.
And Vinny blocks it to short square leg for a dot right to the fielder. That brings up an end to the over. 11 coming from it. 2 fours. A wide.
So yeah. At least they got closer.
Elmore has bowled 3 overs in a trot. He has 1 remaining. And now there's going to be a bowling change.
Who's the bowler? Miller.
Nikita Miller comes in to bowl his spin, trying to control the flow of runs that have been brought in the last couple of overs or so. Blocked by Tristan. Very well. Nikita bowling wicket to wicket in his first ball.
Batting का नीचे वो हो गया. Well, now you're just tilting it down.
Tristan guides it down to fine leg for a single. Nikita wearing down his line, veering down his line to leg.
Perfect test. But up and down is not the problem.
It will be interesting to see how Vinny Chopra plays Nikita, considering how he's been mostly playing against spinners. And he guides it to short fine leg as well to take a single. Some great camera work being done by Omer, our camera crew, his leader. And another ball blocked by Tristan. Nikita giving him no room to maneuver on that ball. Another signal down to fine leg. Tristan sweeps.
Not the one. Got a baseball? I got ball. But not the good ball.
Very good over being bowled by Nikita Miller. Only 3 singles coming in the 5 balls in the over.
End of 6.
That's the end of 6. Oh, that one is
End of 6 overs. And we have a score of 46. Very good over by Nikita Miller. Only 3 runs coming from it.
Just the 1 wicket down. Vinny Chirpy Chopra on 2 runs and Tristan Coleman on 27. And seems to have recovered very well from the blow to the head.
New bowler comes in, Odin Brown. Let's see how Coleman deals with Odin over here.
Nicely dabbed down to gully region, but for no run. Tristan Coleman carrying on his good form from last night. Backing up again 8 hours later with a good start to this combined 11 innings.
Very well guided down to short square leg by Tristan for a single. He seems to be approaching this innings in a much more sensible manner than last night. He seemed to go for a 6 every ball or every other ball. It seemed like he was, but I mean, on that end, you have to also consider he was picking his balls because he was being bowled very short last night.
Perhaps the blow to the head makes him realise that he's up against some formidable bowling for this morning's match.
That might be the case. Well put, Julian.
As have Vinny Chopra on strike. It's a little bit of a lull in the proceedings right at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure the innings that Vinny plays. It's very conducive to building an inning, but against a side like Freedom Fighters, I think your inning needs more of an impetus.
Well, but maybe that's precisely the point against a team like Freedom Fighters, who has some good bowling firepower. Perhaps building an innings is the method to approach at this moment, where there's no reason you cannot build an innings in T20. Yes, it's different from tests and 50 over matches. And it looks like... Yeah,
and great catch in the gully region. Vinny is gone. Edges it to gully, trying to find some space by third, trying to play it down to third man.
Vinny with the right intention there. The ball was up and looked like he was attempting to loft a drive it perhaps. Got a thickish edge which under many circumstances would roll away for a few runs, but in this particular moment went straight to the fielder for a fairly simple catch. Good field placement there from Freedom Fighters.
Captain taking the catch, Stephen Taylor at gully region, easily.
Stephen Taylor, obviously a USA representative as well as a CPL contracted player, so a catch like that should be easy pickings for him, as it was.
Yes, that
Kura
catch.
Shehzad, the new player to the crease. Oh no, Karan Kumar, my apologies. Karan Kumar, the new player to the crease. Off the mark immediately with a little tickle off the hip down to the backward of square leg for a single, and that ends the over.
Great over by Brown, only 2 coming from it and a wicket.
Successful over, 7 overs now complete. Combined with 2 wickets down for 48 runs, which is not such a bad start. Let's see if they can take it on from here. they can post a score somewhere in the region of 180, they at least will have something to defend. Obviously, the Freedom Fighters have a very solid batting lineup.
What are your thoughts, Julian, on that catch right over the keeper's head that was taken of Shri?
I don't have much opinion on that, since I was deep in the jungle trying to find a lost ball that was only a few overs old. Unfortunately, I came up short, was not able to find the missing ball, but I did find another old ball, a baseball and a golf ball, so I guess I've come out on top.
Well, just to let you know, it was a very high catch that went over, swirling all the way back. John Campbell had to cover quite a bit of ground to catch.
Lofted drive there, up his shot, just over the bowler's head, but safe enough. Seemed like it was a fairly deliberate shot there from Karan Kumar for a single.
I think it will be interesting how Tristan approaches his innings, considering this is the 8th over. And against a bowler like Nikita Miller.
Well, Tristan Coleman has displayed, well, that's a wide down the leg side, signalled there by umpire Mateen Inamdar to bring up the 50. And Tristan Coleman has shown that he can be a very technical batsman, as he did on that occasion, where he just approached the ball with a little bit of caution, tucked it away for a single forward of front of leg to, I guess, more of a short mid-wicket region for a fairly easy single.
Yeah,
but he's also shown that he can be destructive as well.
Yeah, very sensible inning being played by Tristan. He seems to be picking his balls and bowlers again like last night, but last night he was bowled a lot of short balls, like I mentioned earlier. And he took full advantage of the short balls by the spinners, to be exact.
There we see Karan Kumar playing a attempted late cut. It went in the direction that he wanted it, but it seemed the ball seemed to jump up on him a bit, came off high off the bat and went uppishly through that region. Fortunately for him, there was no fielder right there for managing an easy single. And Tristan Coleman there keeps out a ball that comes onto him a little bit, tends to cramp him for room, but managed to defend it away for the last ball of the over. And that now ends the 8th over. We have a score of 52 runs for 2 wickets down.
Yeah, only 4 runs coming from that last over. Again, in a T20 innings, you would expect to score at least about 6 runs or more and over.
Yeah, that's true, but sometimes you just have to acknowledge that a bowler can bowl a good over, and some it's, you know.
Akeem Hussain coming in, a bowling change being made by Stephen Taylor.
Yeah, but just on that thought, as far as sometimes you just come against a good over, you have to keep the scoreboard ticking over, as they did there. They picked up 4 runs, just singles and a wide. But sensible batting at this time, keeping wickets in hand for the final 6 or 8 overs, allowing you to accelerate at that point. We see a nice flick, but once again very uppish, right in the direction of the fielder. Managed to fall just a little bit short of the can't see who the fielder is from this angle, unfortunately, but he made a good effort. There was no way he was going to catch that, so he managed to block it, keep it to a single.
Lopez was a fielder going for that catch, coming up short. The reason why I keep mentioning the scoring rate is just because of how strong of a batting lineup Freedom Fighters have. And I mean that has to be in the mind of combined stars.
Oh, absolutely, it is. And I guess if you're just going back to the basics of cricket, the team that scores the most run wins. So obviously you need to score as many as possible, but sometimes you cannot force the issue and throw away wickets unnecessarily. As we see a bit of a wild swing there from Tristan, perhaps he is feeling the pressure at the moment
wide
of
called.
some tight bowling.
A wide called by umpire Vijay Layla. And Tristan goes for another heave, but it's a wide. Another one by Keel. 2 wides in a row. Very well defended by Tristan. The ball coming in to him. Onto extra cover. And that is slapped down to extra cover for a single by Tristan.
Takes Tristan to 30 runs of 35 deliveries. He's a little bit cautious at this particular moment. Karan Kumar with a well-timed little poke past the, I guess, between point and gully region, just causing the fielder to be wrong-footed and stopped in his tracks. But safely down to the fielder in the deep, just for 1 run.
Pipe coming from this over. 2 wides and 3 singles.
But yes, I mean, about your point now, we've had 3 fairly sedate overs in a row, and that in a 20-over match may be enough to really hold them back, because they were going along.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was referring to when I kept bringing it up in the last couple of overs, was because, I mean, now it's been 9 overs with a score of 57 for 2. So, I mean, that has to put some extra pressure on your batting lineup that's to come. That's another reason why I mentioned that a couple of times, because I mean, when they come in, they don't have that luxury of settling down even for an over.
As we see at that moment, with Karen attempting to make some room, make the shot, and again another uppish shot through to a wideish long off. But safely fielded, just limited to a single.
Nikita Miller with his 3rd over in a trot.
Tristan Coleman looking to keep the scoreboard ticking over with just another single backward or square, fielded by the keeper.
And Nikita Miller seems to be bowling wicket to wicket, giving no room to the batsman to maneuver.
Yeah. Karen getting under that.
Lopez.
And a well-judged catch in the end. Looked like he may have just overrun it.
Yeah, Lopez with the reverse cup right over his head. Very good
the
catch.
Australian style of catching there. The reverse cup. Once again, looked like he may have just misjudged it slightly, but managed to hold his ground, get a good vision of the ball, and then take a good catch overhead. Karan Kumar succumbs to his uppish shot selection. The wicket falls, and Karan Kumar's out for 6.
In comes Fahad Khan, who has the ability to pick up the scoring rate. He plays locally for Thunder. and has scored in the 90s a couple of times this season. So he has ability to really pick up the scoring rate. Let's see.
I believe he plays on your team on the weekend. Is that right?
Yes, he
Ahmed?
does. That's why I know so much about him.
There you go. We have some improvised technological advancements here at the BPL Stadium. We had a mishap with a 50-foot HDMI cable that suddenly decided to stop working. That's
One more delivery.
Thank you.
The guys, what's up?
And
2 runs coming from third over of Nikita Miller
the wicket.
and the wicket.
This is the end of 10 overs, 59 runs. They've just dipped below the 6 runs and over mark. Tristan Coleman not out on 31 off 37 balls. And Fahad Khan, the new man to the crease, yet to face his first ball.
5 minutes. I'll be back on.
Fahad tries to slap it over extra cover and goes right to the fielder.
Akil Hussain, the bowler, continuing. Fahad Khan slaps a ball through the cover region. Actually, it was more the point region. Down to the fielder in the deep. Fairly rudimentary single to get off the mark, bringing Tristan Coleman on strike against Akil Hussain. And there we have an unfortunate shot selection, again trying to dab it down through the cover region, but straight, not cover region, sorry, the point region, straight to the fielder. Looks like it's Fahad Baba took that catch. And
Yeah,
again,
I think
fairly, he had to move a little bit to his right to make the catch, but watch it carefully into his hands.
Person is Fahad. Just to confirm.
Yeah, I think Tristan was getting a little bit frustrated also. So that's why he probably led to that shot that picked out the fielder, Fahad Babar.
I believe you're right. Some tight bowling
Local
there
player.
from Akil Hussain, as well as from Nikita Miller at the other end. Has pegged the run rate back, and I think the 2 batsmen, Karan Kumar and Tristan Coleman, were beginning to feel the pressure of the slower run rate and decided to try getting on with things, and unfortunately succumbed.
Okay, क्या कर सकते हैं?
This brings to the crease Ahmed Askari. I have seen him play in our local league fairly often, and he's another batsman who's not intent on sticking around for a test match length innings. He likes to get on with things, not afraid to hit in the air and try to hit long. And is well beaten with his first delivery there from Akil. Bales whipped off for a half-hearted stumping appeal, but no chance of him actually even having time to leave the crease.
Yeah, I think spinners have really controlled things for the freedom fighters in the last several overs. Brought down the run rate, and that leading to added pressure onto the combined stars batting lineup.
Keel bowling very well here, keeping tight wicket to wicket bowling. Actually, they brought in a slip in the thought that he may get an edge. And immediately the slip is brought into play, fielding a ball that's just tapped into the ground.
Only 2 runs coming from the previous over with a wicket of Tristan Coleman by Akil Hussain.
Looks like the Freedom Fighters' tactics now with their field placements may have changed slightly. While Tristan Coleman was moving along, looks they had spread the field to prevent to limit the runs, but now with the 2 new batsmen and the field positioning bringing back a slip, they might be trying to get a few more quick wickets and try to wrap the innings up here.
And wicket seems to be falling on a regular basis as well for Combined Stars.
See Fahad Khan hitting out. I'm sorry, not Fahad Khan, that's Ahmed Askari. As I mentioned previously, he
Ball.
and we have lost another ball. Looks like that one barely travelled into the bushes.
So good to be back in the com box. Thanks to Julian for holding the fort while I had to go and deal with something. And the dismissal of Tristan Coleman in the last over, or certainly the last couple of overs, was a big blow for both teams, really. Big blow for Combine, so they were pretty reliant on him to set up a big total here, and obviously a big blow for Freedom Fighters as they look to retain, or contain I should say, the scoring rate of the Combined Stars.
Yeah, great 6 by Ahmed Askari down to mid-wicket, taking on Nikita Miller, the first batsman to actually take him on for the Combined Stars. And blocking that one right down to the bowler.
Chipping it over the head of the bowler this time. They'll just get the single. Possibly a chance for a couple, but they didn't push hard, so in the end, just the one. I'm just about to set it up again.
Fahad plays another dart to the cover region. This time goes straight for, and the fielder, well fielded, stops a 4, saves 2 runs for his team. 2 runs by Fahad Khan. Fahad Khan goes for a heave down mid-wicket, but does not connect, and takes 2. $11 coming from Nikita Miller's last over. At the end of the 12th over, 72 for 4. And Nikita Miller has bowled out with his 4 overs. What is stats for 4 overs? Do we know? Nikita Miller? 20 20 for 1 in his 4 overs by Nikita Miller. Well left ball by Amadasri. Punches it down to extra cover, right to the fielder.
Another dot ball. See a reverse slog sweep, I guess you might call that, for 6. It's an interesting
What a
shot.
shot by Amadasri, reverse sweeping that for a 6.
But it wasn't really a sweep, it was a sweep motion. I guess it would be a slog sweep. It wasn't down on one knee in the classic Steve Waugh manner, but
Yeah,
it might be hard to do when you're reversing it.
yeah,
Nonetheless, it was a very well-timed and effective shot.
yeah. I think it was a sluggish sweep. That's what you would call a reverse sluggish sweep.
I guess that's the nature of T20, is the improvisation of shot selection. I'm not sure if I attempted that myself, whether I'd even clear the pitch.
Amadasri with 2 6s in his innings up to this point.
That looks to be somewhat in the helicopter shot. A la MS Dhoni, and inside out under loft, didn't get it towards the boundary. That was insane. Insane reverse sweep. Single there to Askari, brings Fahad Khan on strike. And he goes for the more traditional slog heave, aka Merv Hughes in the tail end of an Australian innings. Lofted it, didn't time it, fell between the 2 fielders for just a run.
Amadasri on strike again. Last ball from Akil Hussain, and he comes down the wicket and plays it down to point for a single. Rotate remains with the strike on next over.
Which is good. It's better than not working.
This cam is good actually. Angle is so far so good.
At the end of 13, 81 for 4.
Just inform me that don't bring those.
Yeah.
Tell them to bring coffee instead.
Instead of with that coffee.
Coffee?
Amen.
Coffee?
Lots and lots of it.
Cold coffee.
So the caller's going out for coffee. We need coffee stat.
Cold coffee.
Cold coffee. Light ice. Who's the bowler? Dean Brown back for his second spell after bowling a very economical first over, in which he went for 2 runs and taking a wicket.
Very clever cricketer is Dean Brown. A lot of experience. He would have played in many tournaments like this. He's played in conditions all over the Americas and probably all over the world.
Julian's still trying to recover from looking for the balls. that have been deposited by the batsman over the boundary into the jungle.
Julian, Frappuccino.
Sure, whenever they
Yeah,
want.
Frappuccino for him. Frappuccino, two Frappuccino, three
Ice.
Frappuccino,
Ice latte.
three Frappuccino. Frappuccino is cold, yes. Three Frappuccino and one ice.
Skim soy no whip.
1.37 sugars and a sprinkle of cinnamon.
And he goes for a heave, looking to clear square leg and misses the ball entirely. Ahmad Askari does. The ball probably missed the Bills by a couple of inches.
I just want the coffee. Oh, anyone else? Anyone else? Oh, ice. Oh, ice.
Four.
Okay. Now, subtext.
4 big ice.
4 ice.
Just disregard the cable very much.
Lobster.
Camera सुबह से चल रहा है यार.
And a great single that was taken by Ahmad Askari. Waited on the back foot and played it down to the gully region. Ice latte. Caramel ice latte.
Orange whips.
And two ice. Three ice.
4 big ice. Whatever you get. Don't get ice. He's no way not good on ice.
And a steak dinner.
Yep.
Is that that's two, right?
Dozen roses.
Just buy one of everything. So things are easy in the com box. Just like yesterday, we're a bit short of caffeine.
Yeah, I mean that seems to what. Fahad Khan on to strike, and he goes for a big shot off, and he clears mid wicket for a 6 by Fahad Khan. What a shot he got right underneath that ball. Fahad Khan did. Odin pitched it up, and he took full advantage of that ball. Fahad Khan did.
So a massive shot and combined 11 showing that they've got more than just Tristan Coleman in terms of run scorers and big hitters, which is of course good for them in their quest to set a target here.
And Fahad tries to repeat the motion, and this time Odin bowls smartly with a leg spin, and Fahad misses the ball entirely. And then dot.
This time dragged into the leg side, will just be the single.
Bottom edge by Fahad Khan. It's 89.
So the end of another over, and at the end of
No, 1-1.
14.
116.1. Yeah, 9 runs over. So it is 90.
Just waiting for the score to update.
90 for 4 after 14 overs. 9 runs coming off at the last over by Odin Brown. With a run rate of 6.43. I believe combined would think that their run rate needs to improve.
Oh, tell you what. Oh, he's been given. The bail has come off. So another wicket goes down. Ends what was turning out to be a pretty useful partnership. But it's been cut short at 90 for 5.
Run out by Fahad Babar of Ahmad Askari, who was going well at 17 runs on just 11 balls. In walks Faraz. In walks Faraz, a lefty. Fahad Khan sitting at 14 from just 13 balls.
Tugged into the leg side for a single. .91 for 5, so they'll, well, with 5 wickets left and just the best part of 5.5 overs remaining, I guess they can continue to swing for the fences. Not sure what they've got left in the hutch by way of big hitting batsmen. That's a nice shot down the ground. It'll be wide of the man at long off. They should push to come back for 2, which they do. Well run, a good throw from the deep, but they get home comfortably enough. Good running.
Yes, I think combined stars really need to pick up the scoring rate, being only 90 for 4 at the end of 14.
Easier said than done, of course. Big shot this time. Has he got enough on it? Yes, he has. It clears Elmore Hutchison at long on. Another 6. So they continue to hit the occasional 6 in this innings, which is helping to keep the scoring rate up.
Yes, Fahad goes for slog over mid-wicket. Clears the boundary by a meter or 2 for a great 6.
This time over the head of the cover fieldsman. There'll be another 2 here. And they scamper back for 2. So Fahad doing a fantastic job for his side. And that is the 100 up. 101 for 5. 1 ball left in the 15th.
Takes a single on the last ball, Fahad does. Punches it to cover region.
So just 5 overs left.
12 runs coming from the last over of Akil Hussain. 28 for 1 in his 4 overs.
So Fahad Khan doing a great job.
25 off of 17 balls. He's built up his innings quite nicely. Let's see if he can carry this on, with Lopez coming back in for his second spell. Carlitos Lopez.
Whipped around behind square. That'll be 4 runs. Good use of the pace. Really? Wow. So Fahad Khan continuing to prosper here. Another 4 runs. Top edge over the keeper's head. You can't really protect that particular area of the ground. Very hard to defend. So another good over so far in terms of run scoring.
Fahad at 33 from just 19 balls.
Oh, no ball 4.
Another 4 by Fahad Khan. What a shot to find leg. Just using the pace, guiding it.
It's the tornado warning siren, but it's first Tuesday of the month at all practice.
So
What a shot.
the air raid siren is going. Waiting to see the Luftwaffe flying overhead. Goodness gracious.
The Battle of Bolingbroke.
Fahad Khan seems to be using the pace really well of Lopez.
And this is the free hit, and that's going to be 4 more. So big over this for the combined stars, and a big over for Fahad Khan. Boy, oh boy.
4 4s in a row by Fahad Khan. Going crazy at the moment. 41 off of just 21 balls. Deliveries.
And the catch is taken. The end of a brilliant little cameo, 41 off 22. And he's angry with himself, but he's done a really good job for his team. I'm sure he would have liked to have kept hitting for a few more overs, but he's actually got his team up to a total that will be a tricky one for Freedom Fighters. Of course, there's still the best part of 5.5 overs to go.
Great little innings played by Fahad Khan to really help out his team struggling with run rate, picking up the score. At one point, they were just 90 for 4 on 14 overs.
Yeah, really good effort by them to lift the run rate, particularly in the last 4 or 5 overs. And the runs continue to come. And that's runs.
Still a bit of rain up there.
Shoaib comes in to bat, a lefty who can also hit quite well.
This time hit through the covers, lovely looking shot. man from deep point runs around and keeps the scoring to 2. We've had it all in this over. We've had 4s and no balls and wides and wickets. We just need a 6 to finish it off nicely. He's tried to hit one into the air. We'll just get a single. But a fantastic over in terms of scoring for the combined 11.
.22 runs coming from the last over.
That's got to hurt as a bowler.
Yes. 4 consecutive boundaries by Fahad Khan that led to that, and no balls as well. Carlitos Lopez has been very expensive for the Freedom Fighters. 47 coming from 3 overs. He has taken 2 wickets. Your thoughts, Jamie? And a great shot by Shoaib for a 6 over mid-wicket region. He just sits back and pumps John Campbell for a 6.
Well, they just continue to hit the boundaries, and this, what you'd have to say was probably an unfancied team going into this match, is doing a pretty good job of setting a target here. 130 for 6 with 3.5 overs to go. And just going back to your question, well, I said it at the start, I just think Lopez was a little bit too predictable, particularly in his opening spell, where he bowled short and short and short. Needed to mix it up a bit more, and then in that last over when he came back for a second spell, I don't know if he was just hadn't gotten loose, wasn't ready, but he tended to spray it a little bit. And but in amongst all those loose deliveries were some very, very good ones.
Exactly. I mean, he did take 2 wickets. I mean, and that has to count for something, but when you get pumped for 22 runs in an over with 2 no balls, I mean, that has to demoralize your team. And as far as the scoring is concerned, it's been the local boys for Combined Stars who have been, performing. And I mean, this is a local team, with the exception of Tristan at the top. And today it seemed to be Fahad Khan who performed, who played a very good innings. Tristan did in the beginning with a 38. 31 off of 38, and then Ahmad Askari played a cameo of 17 from just 11 balls, and now Shoaib coming in and trying to advance their cause.
Well, we've got a ball now. Oh, and he looks to repeat the shot. Swing and a miss this time, however. Goes over the offside this time. Should find the grass, and he does. It's time. Driving into the leg side.
Shoaib back on strike. gets totally deceived by John Campbell on that one. For a dot.
Outside edge here, they should come back for a couple. And they will.
Shoaib is another player who plays for my team in the local league. And he always seems to perform when you need him. So a very dependable and player. Yeah, they play for him and yeah, right.
So the skipper, Stephen Taylor. In for his first ball. And he's slapped over the offside first up. There is a man in the deep. And he's made an absolute meal of it. And it's gone for 4. So not the best way to start your spell. Misfield on the deep, costing you 4 runs. Big shot into the leg side. And they just take the 1.
Faraz goes for another shot, this time towards square leg. Doesn't quite connect like he would have liked to.
This time left alone outside the off stump. So today Stephen Taylor opting to bowl as off spinners. The other day we saw him bowling as medium quicks. Man of many talents. This time up in the air, catch should be taken, but he's misread it. And they've come back for 2. Dear oh dear. Not sure what happened there. He just didn't even get hands to it in the end.
Completely misjudged it, like he stated.
This time slapped down the ground. Just the single. But 8 runs off the over so far. Another decent one for the combined stars. Shoaib doing a great job, 15 off 10. Swing and a miss this time to end the over. 8 runs from it, 142 for 6 after 18, 2 overs to go. Can they push up to 160? Would be a decent target for the Freedom Fighters to have to chase down. Reminder that this is the first of the semi-finals for the inaugural Liberty Cup at the BPL Cricket Stadium in Bolingbrook, Illinois. After this game at 12:30 p.m. Central will be the second semi-final, which sees the Kings 11, stacked Kings 11 side, taking on the local boys ARC. And then at 4:30 the winner of the 2 semis will compete in the grand final, as we see an under edge that's going to run away for a couple of runs. So the runs continue to come from the bat of Khan, Shoaib Khan. He moves on to 17 and the score to 144 for 6. John Campbell continuing from the far end. Big swing, but it's gone straight up. And Campbell again showing his prowess with the reverse cup, takes it very comfortably of his own bowling, and that ends a very handy little innings from Shoaib. Continued the momentum after the fall of Khan. Fahad Khan, that is. There's a few Khans in the team. If anyone Khan.
Hunain comes in.
Hunain Amin, the new batsman, and just while we wait for him to come to the middle, quick thank you to our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi and Gatorade.
And of course, Crick Clubs for the live scoring.
Who was on strike just then? Another single to Faraz. Amin down now to face his first ball. Another lefty, so we've had 3 left-handers in a row. Big full toss, pulled around the corner. They should be looking for 2, but they'll just get the single. Faraz back on strike. Swing and a miss. Outside the line of the ball. Was expecting it to turn, perhaps. Over pitch this time. He'll get a single down the ground. That brings the end to the penultimate over of the innings. Just one left, 147 for 7. Sure they'll be hoping to get as close to 160 as possible.
Only 5 coming from the last over. Combine would have been looking for quite a bit more.
And Skipper Taylor will finish out. 8 runs coming from his first over. Short, pulled, down to long on, who fields cleanly, just the 1 run. Again pulling, again finding the man in the deep, but they'll have time to come back for 2 this time, as the man had to move around to get to the ball. And the boundaries, as we mentioned on numerous occasions throughout this week, are pretty big. Swing and a miss this time.
With the last 2 scores, that brought up the 150 for combined stars.
Again into the leg side. Just the 1 this time, straight to the man in the deep. So just 2 balls left. Doesn't look like they'll get to 160, but 150 odd will be a challenging target. We know the strength of the Freedom Fighters batting lineup as a bye is run. However, they probably haven't been at their best in this tournament. We're yet to see the best of them. And a stumping to finish things off. So a wicket off the last ball for Stephen Taylor. Nicholas Pooran doing the job behind the stumps. So combined 11 will finish at 152 for 8 off their 20. Just a quick look at the scorecard there. Tristan Coleman again a useful hand at the top, 31 off 38. Fahad Khan in the middle there, fantastic innings from him, 41 off 22. And then a couple of little innings to chip in towards the end. Ahmad with 17, Faraz with 11, Shoaib Khan with 17. And 152 for 8 means that the Freedom Fighters will require 153 to win this game and qualify for the grand final. I'm sure they'll back themselves to do that with the lineup that they've got. Let's have a look at the bowling. Well, there's one bowler that stands out there, and that is Carlitos Lopez, and that's all for all the wrong reasons. Even though he got 2 wickets, 3 overs, conceding 47 runs, economy rate of 15.67. Everyone else's economy was 7.5 or below. The rest of the wickets shared around. Nikita Miller, Odeem Brown, Akil Hussain, John Campbell and Stephen Taylor all taking 1. And there was 1 run out. So 152 for 8. We'll be back in 10 minutes time for the chase, where Freedom Fighters will require 153 for victory. We will see you in 10 minutes.
Fahad Bauer having scored 34 off of 21 against United earlier. And the bowler Ahmad was actually quite decent last night against Bolingbroke, going for 17 only off of his 2 and taking a wicket.
Driving as Campbell down the ground, and he'll get a boundary first up. The end of the first over of the chase. 6 runs coming from it, 5 runs from the bat and a wide. So a further 147 runs required from 114 balls. Run rate required of 7.7. Duckworth Lewis pass score after 1 over is 5, so they're ahead of that should the rain come. But we don't want to talk about that yet.
Yeah, the way we were able to recover from that thunder last night was quite impressive. Everybody chipped in and we were able to get the game back on relatively short amount of time.
Looks like Sri Kajaluri from the far end. He's had a pretty good tournament, opening the bowling and opening the batting in every match so far, I believe, for combine. So a very handy cricketer. No run again for Baba.
Absolutely, Sri being the pick of the bowler last night against Bolingbroke.
And Fahad Baba has succumbed, looking to pull into the leg side, perhaps hitting it a little bit later than he wanted, and it went straighter than he intended. Man stationed it long on, ran in, settled under it, and took a very good catch. Very comfortable catch in the end. And Baba has perished early in the run chase.
Dangerman gone. This will make combine happy bunch, making early breakthroughs in hopes of defending this total and getting through to the finals. Lots of betting to come through, however, for the Freedom. Good start from Sri. 2 deliveries with 1 wicket already.
Stephen Taylor, the new batsman. But Campbell will be on strike because the batsman crossed while that ball was in the air.
Pacey delivery defended off the back foot and to the onside for a single.
And the great news is, folks, that caffeine has been delivered to the combox. So no excuses from now on for us not to be on top of our game. Stephen Taylor to face his first delivery. We know how good he can be on his day.
Right on the money against Stephen Shri in his fourth delivery.
Stephen Taylor, of course, captain of the US team currently. Also their star batsman. Big shot into the leg side. And a man running around from deep mid-wicket, unable to get there. And we'll just wait for the signal to see whether it's 6 or 4. And 4 is the signal.
That is perhaps what Freedom may have in mind, Jamie, given the fact that the other day against United, he came in at number 5 and has been promoted up at number 3 today.
This time an outside edge, and it beats the field. Will it make it to the fence? No, it pulls up short. They'll come back for a couple as the pirate Vinny Chirpy Chopra chases from a wide slip. He's the man of many nicknames. Chirpy Chopra, and also we've started calling him the Pirate OR because of his headgear, of course, wearing the bandana under his hat. So the end of another over, a successful one for Shri. Took the wicket of Fahad Baba. 13 for 1, the Freedom Fighters. Ahmad Askari will continue from the media centre end.
We have given this end quite a few names, Jamie. Container end, batting cage end, commentary box, and now the media center.
Slashing away Taylor this time. In fact, Campbell, sorry. Over backward point, and that will run away for another boundary, his second. He goes up to 9 and the team total to 17. And just coming back to Stephen Taylor, current captain of the US, their star batsman. He also had a season for Jamaica in the Caribbean 50 over tournament last season and played really well for them opening the batting. Got a couple of 80s, one in particular where he absolutely decimated the opposition, smashing the ball to all parts. So certainly racking up experience all around the world as Stephen Taylor. As an outside edge this time, we'll see back-to-back boundaries for John Campbell. Certainly not where he intended to hit it, but the result, the desired result, 4 runs.
Freedom having recovered well from an early loss of a wicket. Completely back in the game in terms of their chase. Taking the run rate up to 9 and over, sitting at 21 for 1. Third over continues, 2 consecutive boundaries off the first 2.
I'll get a single this time, which brings Taylor down onto strike. And Taylor, of course, one of a number of US players that have been picked up in the CPL draft. But Taylor was picked up a lot earlier than any of the other US players who tended to get picked up in the very last round. Taylor getting picked up for, I believe it was 30k US, meaning he is certainly the highest paid cricket professional in US history. So setting all sorts of benchmarks in cricket in the US. Pulling this time powerfully into the leg side. Man running around. We'll just do the clean-up work. That is a boundary. So the third boundary in the over. This one proving to be a very costly one for Ahmad Askari and the combined 11.
Stylish pull from a stylish batsman.
Again, pumped into the leg side, straighter this time. But the result will be the same. And the boundaries are flowing from the bats of both of these batsmen. A very dangerous partnership, this, between Campbell and Taylor. Certainly dangerous for the combined 11. They need to break it in the next few overs, or things could very quickly get ugly for them.
Very big over this from Freedom. 4 boundaries, 2 singles. Ahmed given 24 so far in his 2. Steven Taylor off to a flyer start, 15 off of 16. And John on the other side, 14 at 5.
Both batsmen having hit 3 boundaries each so far.
Yeah, you have to feel for the bowler in this contest, especially against quality batting that Freedom possesses, but I wasn't particularly sure about the line and length in last over against Taylor.
Yeah, I think he bowled a bit too short in that over. Taylor goes down the ground this time. Onto the grassy bank. Another boundary, this time a maximum.
Brutal hitting this. Clean strike all the way up into the hill, into the far end.
Short again, punished again. Couple of bounces for. So they're just bowling into Taylor's hitting zone at the moment. The length is wrong, and the pace is just not sufficient enough to trouble Taylor. It's just a nice easy pace, particularly on this beautiful AstroTurf surface, excuse me. And he's taking full toll currently. This time over pitching, but the man at mid-off prevents them from getting any more than 1.
That length is probably a bit more effective against Taylor.
Yeah, they need to force him to drive. This time Campbell will find wide open spaces on the leg side. Now canter home for a second. Yeah, anything short on this pitch, because unless you're express pace, it's just going to sit up nicely. And we saw particularly that first ball of this over, Taylor was able to just sit back and wait for the ball to arrive before pumping it down the ground for 6. Campbell driving again this time. Again, not out of the middle. but he clears the infield. They just get the single, however.
And that is all that is required in this phase of the game. Three overs remaining, including this one, into the power play, so they're always going to find the fielders inside.
Taylor slashing again over backward point, and that has trickled over the boundary.
Again, not timed to perfection, neither middled. Effective runs nonetheless.
Yeah, another big over, 18 runs coming from it. And after just 4, Freedom Fighters find themselves 1 away from 50, 49 for 1. Stephen Taylor 30 not out off 10 deliveries, striking at 300. John Campbell 17 off 7, striking at 242.86.
This is mine, right? It's not yours. It's not yours.
So run rate required from here on out is now just sitting at 6.5. So they've gotten off to a flyer, and it means that the scoreboard pressure, which may have been there at the start when they had to go at just over 7.5, well, it's not really there anymore. 6.5, very manageable, particularly when you've got 9 wickets in hand and 2 players in the middle that are striking the ball as well as these two are.
Yeah, that scoreboard pressure factor completely eliminated from by the onslaught rather from these two. I thought combined attack bowling started off pretty well against Fahad and John earlier. Completely losing the plot, however, against Stephen.
As we see the first bowling change, Hunain Amin coming in for his first bowl. And first one is a full toss. And Campbell just picked a spot wide of the man at long on. And another boundary, the result. So the thing that's letting Combine down at the moment is that their bowlers just can't settle onto a decent line and length. The fast bowlers bowled too short. And now first ball of the new bowler over pitching. This time a long half volley clipped into the deep, but there is a man stationed at deep mid wicket and they just get the single. So still within the power play, so they can only have 2 men in the deep. They've got a long on and a deep mid wicket to these two left-handers. But you can't put fielders for shots like that. That has gone long, very long over mid-wicket. Too long for United. And that's another maximum for Stephen Taylor. His second. Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you know why it went miles and miles and miles? Because it was 150th 6 of the tournament.
Boy, oh boy, 156s. Over pitching again, that'll be number 151. And these two are looking to finish this in a hurry. 66 for 1, 4.4 overs. Taylor 42 off 12.
Bit too much to ask perhaps, Jamie, but I'm absolutely fancying the number of sixes to reach the double ton 200 mark, as we have 2 games remaining, a lot of batting fire in both of the games to come through.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if they can get that many. So we're getting a prediction from our scorer, who's doing a fantastic job, by the way. He thinks that they're going to chase this down in 12 overs.
I'm saying 14.
There they are.
14.
They've been doing a fantastic job. There's Rick. He's been brilliant. Over pitching again, but this time Taylor picks out the long on fielder, just a single.
Thank you, Jamie. It's been absolutely a pleasure of mine working with you and learning actually quite a bit in the last 3 days.
I imagine what you've learned is that New Zealanders' sense of humour is a little bit weird. Driving in a gap on the offside this time is Campbell. They'll come back for a couple, which means 20 runs scored off Amin's first over. So the onslaught continues. Sri Kajaluri again has been the most effective bowler, but he's gone for 12.5, which shows you how damaging the batting has been if we talk about him being the most effective bowler. And another bowling change, double change, this time at the far end. Sorry, who's the new bowler? Who is it? Ali Raza. It's the new bowler from the far end. If I remember rightly, he's a left arm over the wicket medium pacer. And Taylor just tickling this one fine. The outfield is a very good one, but the grass is quite thick, so just the single. But what a fantastic facility. The BPL cricket field or cricket stadium. The brainchild and love child of Mir Ali. And he's done a fantastic job. I actually visited this site about 3 years ago, and Mia brought me down here and told me what his vision was, and he's made that vision a reality with the help of some very generous sponsors, Pepsi not the least of those, as this time a wide is bowled. He has stadium lighting in here, meaning they can have games at night, which we've seen throughout this tournament, which has been fantastic. Big shot by Campbell. It's gone very high and it has gone very long. Whoa, that is up on the upper deck. That's up onto the baseball field. My word. And remember, this is not a small ground. These are 70-yard, 75-yard boundaries. And that's gone up the hill over the back.
Game certainly isn't
boundary.
done yet, but watch out. If they do go on to make to the finals, which they absolutely look to at this moment, whoever they play is going to have to come up with something extraordinary special.
Another one that's going to be just as big. It's going to go into the jungle. And I would say the umpires will be calling for a new ball. I hope we've got the local cricket store on speed dial. And make sure they have a few balls spare, because at the rate we're losing balls, we're going to need a few extra boxes.
Yeah, the second one was even lovelier, wasn't it? Absolutely muttered. He gets to 44 in no time, merely off of 14. So obviously he's striking at 200 and plus at the moment.
John Campbell, 36 off 12. He's striking at 300. Taylor, 44 off 14, striking at 314. These guys are racing each other to see who can get to 50 the fastest. And for Combine to create any pressure and have any hopes of perhaps pulling off an upset here, they need to take wickets in a hurry. They have not been creating chances since the first couple of overs. So these batsmen have just worked out the speed and pace of the pitch. Full toss this time. That'll be 4. And at the speed that was going, it may be in the jungle as well.
Before the start of the game, Steven was already sitting at number 4, being the top 5 batters in this tournament so far. I reckon he's going to move up a couple of spots after this innings. Brilliant batting from both of these out in the center, completely eliminating the pressure from the word go. An authoritative chase this.
Yeah, they're certainly stamping their mark on the tournament in this match. As I mentioned at the top, perhaps they would have been a little bit disappointing with their overall batting so far in the tournament. Certainly in the last game, as it looks like Julian has found the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Even in their series opener against...
Oh no, he's found a couple of bottles. Maybe not the ball.
against ARC, I believe, even though they were... Or maybe United, even though they batted first and posted 177, but they did so after losing 8 wickets. So what they have been able to do today is actually quite remarkable, and is going to do massive amount of...
That's another one. That is out of here. So Campbell just continues to hit boundaries. 3 6s and a 4 already in the over. And it hasn't finished yet. 24 runs off the over with a delivery remaining.
Making full use of the power play, isn't it? 93 in the first 6 overs.
Oh, yowza. Here's the current running through everything.
You getting zapped?
Yeah, just touch that and got to that.
Current just finds you, Jamie. It loves you.
Maybe it's me. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that a dot ball?
Yep.
Boy, how disappointing. 24 off the over in the end. The end of 6, the end of the power play. 93 for 1, 93 runs off the power play. I would hazard a guess that that is a Liberty Cup record. Well, I know it's a record because this is the first Liberty Cup. I'm pretty sure even the Kings 11 yesterday didn't get 93 off their power play.
Absolutely. 11th game of the series, including this semi-final. At the rate at these two have gone and scored 93 off of 6.
So we're just being told from the statisticians in the back of the box that 71 was the next best score off the power play in this tournament. So they've beaten it by some 22 runs, which is quite remarkable. But when you look at the scores of these two batsmen, you can see why. Stephen Taylor, 44 off 14, striking at 314. John Campbell, 46 off 15, striking at 306. So it really has just been carnage. And another bowling change. Bowling in. So the new bowler, Faizan Nadaria. Not sure if the bowlers really want to take the ball at this stage.
Signal as a wide. Slightly drifting down the leg side. Taylor attempting to work it down.
As we see a
The
light
onside.
aircraft fly overhead. Good capture by the cameraman. Well, I guess that's one way to avoid being smacked out of the park. Bowler wide. Boom, he's hit that with some power. And no one's going to get there. So another boundary takes Taylor to 48. And unless he gets a single here, it looks like he will win the race to 50. Unless he gets out, of course. Both players having faced 15 balls. Campbell on 46, Taylor on 48. Oh, and he's been hit in a rather uncomfortable area of the body. Take a few deep breaths, young man. We all know how that can hurt. Looks like it was a little bit too high to cause too much damage. Clipped into the leg side, and he will just get a single, so moves to 49. Campbell has an opportunity to beat him to the milestone here. The strike rate also dips below 300 for the first time in a while.
Disappointing.
Very disappointing. What's he doing? Campbell
And
will
maybe
also
not.
get a single.
Stephen Taylor back at the strike.
And that brings up the team 100. 100 for one, partway through the 7th over. And there's the 50 for Taylor. Just eases it away, backward a point. 50 runs off 18 deliveries, including 6 fours and 3 sixes. Fantastic job by the skipper. A real captain's knock.
Wonderfully done. Done with command.
This time down the leg side. Should be extras. And yes, wides. Couple of them. So extras proving costly in this over. Has only been hit for one boundary in this over, so in the context of what we've seen in the last 20 minutes or so, not a bad little over from Faizan. Big shot. Wow, he just effortlessly put that onto the roof of the players' pavilion, which ends the over. A rather sedate over, only 16 coming from it. 109 for one at the end of 7.
Just earlier, as we talk about a bit of a dull in at the frequency at the boundaries, he comes out with this beautifully timed 6 into the onside, goes all the way behind the bleachers, taking Freedom to 109, requiring 44 only from 13 overs at 3.38. We here at the commentary box reckon that they won't be needing 13 to finish this off. Julian is going for 3.
Is that another bowling change? Kuram? Karan Ryan Kumar is the new bowler from the far end, so they're ringing the changes, trying to find some bowlers that can stem this flow, or perhaps break the partnership. Full tosses aren't going to help, and unsurprisingly, oh my word, I didn't realise he did it quite so well. That's gone up onto the baseball field again. Unbelievable striking from Campbell. And that's 50 for John Campbell. He goes to 53 in just 17 balls, 5 fours, 4 sixes, strike rate of 311. So he's going slightly faster than Stephen Taylor at this stage.
Another one. This should also be given as a 6. Very powerfully struck onto the long on region. This one also going up and over the hill.
Maybe 10.
This is brutal batting and brutal hitting from these two. Both of them hovering over 300 strike rate and wanting to finish this in a hurry.
For those of you who are tuned into the stream, this is not a highlights package. You may be watching this thinking you're watching a highlights package from the tournament with all of the sixes and boundaries being struck. It is not a highlights package. This is live, and this is Stephen Taylor and John Campbell. An absolutely crazy hitting form, and that's just another 6. Another big one over wide long on. So this over has gone 6-6.6, and another bowler being tried that has been taken to the cleaners by these two.
Bang for your buck in this BPL's Liberty Cup for the folks that are here as well as watching online. This is entertainment.
Another one. That's big. That's up onto the baseball field again. Unbelievable hitting from Campbell. 4 sixes in the over so far, and still a delivery to come. He has raced to 71 from 21 deliveries. 7 monster sixes. And all of a sudden they require just 20 runs to win the game and advance through to the final.
Folks, watch out for these two in the finals. If you can make it down here at 4:30 at the BPL Cricket Stadium, I suggest you do so. It's going to be a beautiful day. July 4th, Independence holiday. We're going to have a lot of entertainment. We've already had a lot of entertainment from these two.
Those poor fielders at the far end are having to do hill sprints every couple of deliveries. And he's gone again. And it's 5 sixes in the over. That's got to be some kind of record. I've been to one other tournament where I've seen it happen. This is the second time where I've had the pleasure of watching 5 sixes in an over.
He almost pulled a Yui, didn't he? Had he not missed out on the third one.
Unbelievable. So 8 overs completed. 139 for 1. Just 14 further runs required for victory. Crazy stuff. John Campbell, take a bow. It's been an absolute pleasure sitting here watching this and having the privilege of being able to call the game with you, Ricky. We have the best seat in the house, apart from perhaps the umpires and the batsmen at the other end.
We absolutely
and the bowler,
do,
although I'm
don't we?
sure he's not enjoying the view.
That's a view that he's going to want to erase from his memory, perhaps.
And there's a look at the match officials for today. Quickly disappear off screen. So Taylor back on strike, and Nadaraya will continue. And that's another one. Taylor getting into the action. Short ball, hooked away. Over backward square leg for 6. This is just almost becoming ridiculous.
Every time he goes below 300 strike rate, he comes back within a span of a couple of deliveries. He just hates being under 300 strike rate.
He must do. I'm running out of superlatives here. I need someone to provide me with a thesaurus so I can start looking up some new words to use. Oh, an appeal, but trying to fox the umpire. It was a wide down the leg side. So the only respite they seem to be able to get is to bowl a wide. And just 7 runs required for victory from 71 remaining balls. And that's going to be another one. Another maximum for Stephen Taylor. 1 run required for victory. The scores are tied, and we were possibly a little bit nervous after having started this match a little bit late this morning. Well, courtesy of John Campbell and Stephen Taylor, we've made up more than enough time.
And Julian winning the bat amongst the commentary and the scoring team in terms of how long they might take to finish this.
And that's the single required. Game over, and the end of a quite remarkable game of cricket. Hats off to Stephen Taylor and John Campbell. An incredible performance to go streaking into the grand final. They just completely destroyed the United bowling attack, and it was a pleasure to watch. I think even the United players, or sorry, the Combine players, will just have to tip their hat to these two players and say they were too good on the day. So we have one finalist. Freedom Fighters have advanced to the final, which will be at 4:30 this afternoon. The second semi-final will be in approximately an hour's time. And we'll have a quick chat to a couple of the players. I'll just get myself ready for that.
Jamie makes it to the podium, grabs both of these batters for a quick word. What an entertainment they have provided us here today. It has been an absolute pleasure to watch.
Yeah, I was like praying the combined bat first today.
You know,
I know.
the talk about Kings being stacked up and everything, they're going to have to watch out for these two.
Absolutely.
The load of confidence that this...
I'm here with the Freedom Fighters captain Stephen Taylor, and Stephen, we've just witnessed something quite ridiculous, I've got to say. You've been known as a big hitter of the ball. Have you ever hit the ball cleaner than you just did in that innings?
I feel so. I was just going through the line, so I was just backing my strength and just hitting cleanly.
And obviously John Campbell wasn't doing too badly either. Must have been a pleasure standing at the other end watching him hit 5 sixes off and over.
It was lovely. A lot of pressure off me as well. We just came here, just back our strength and just play good cricket.
Yeah, absolutely, and you've certainly done that. I think perhaps earlier in the tournament maybe you guys were a little bit disappointed with the way you'd batted, but today you certainly put it out there on the park and stamped your name on the tournament, and whoever makes it through to the final to meet you guys is going to be a little bit nervous, I imagine.
Yeah, it's lovely cricket. We're playing good cricket with togetherness, and that's nice. So we just all of us are professionals, so we just back in our strengths and play lovely cricket.
Awesome. Now, chances are that you'll meet the Kings 11 in the final. You know how strong that lineup is, and you'll know a number of those players really well, having probably played with a number of them and against a number of them on many occasions. What's the thought process, knowing right from the start of the tournament that it's likely you're going to meet these guys in the final? Have you had a plan for that team from the start?
Not really. They're playing good cricket as well, and cricket is cricket, so it's whoever has the better day and bowls apparently lesser boundaries will win the game.
Awesome. Well done on a superb performance. We look forward to seeing you again in the final. Good luck, and thank you very much for giving us that spectacle. It was a pleasure to watch. All right, so that was Stephen Taylor, the captain of Freedom Fighters, and him and his side are in the grand final later this afternoon. We will bring you the second semi-final in approximately an hour's time, and then the grand final at 4:30. So don't go anywhere. Go and have a quick bite to eat, maybe a cup of tea. Make sure you tune back in at 12:30 for the second semi-final between Kings 11 and ARC. We'll be back with you then.